This podcast is sponsored by Yaddle, the best character in all of Star Wars.
Alright, well, this will be interesting.
This will be interesting. This is going to be a very random pod.
I'm still not 100% sure on what it is, so I'll let you just talk about all of that. Hello and welcome back to another Happy Pod, the show where we discuss pop culture and try to keep things just a little bit more positive and optimistic. My name's Nathan, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely co-host, good friend, and and
Just don't do it. Just don't do it today.
I have to edit, so I'm still tossing up whether I'm actually going to.
But you don't have to edit this one. Why don't you let one more out of your system for good luck?
An all-round Lawrence Thomas Heisey. Hello, sir.
Oh, hello, Nathan. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm very well also.
Did you just say I don't have to edit this one?
You're not editing this one, no, because it's out by tomorrow, so there's not enough time for me to teach you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Teach me.
I want everyone to know that Nathan will need a tutorial on editing this podcast, right? I don't. I am a seasoned veteran pro.
Okay. That's just all right. You out of the two of us, you are the better editor, but I know how to edit. I just don't know how to use Premiere.
I'll be leaking the DMs where you require my tutorials soon.
For Premiere.
To be fair, even I don't know how to use Premiere properly. Like it's just a load of shortcuts to do everything. It's horrible.
I've told you time and time again, I'm just gonna use iMovie.
You are not going to use iMovie because I'll put you down. I'd rather carry on editing than. Why would I say that? No, why would I say that? Anyway, today is a special episode. It's not, but on the day this comes out, it will be May the 4th. Nathan, May the 4th be with you.
And also with you. And maybe we should celebrate this prestigious day by doing an episode all about the prequels.
We could do that, Nathan, but your mic
Lawrence,
quality...
No, the thing is, we already did that. And my mic quality was fine. It's just that someone hasn't got around to fucking editing it yet.
Well, Nathan, maybe if I did it on iMovie, but we can't go back and change the past. Let's be honest, right? We're recording a very off-the-fly episode.
The past that needs changed in this case is Lawrence being lazy to edit. It's very changeable.
There's a fine line between being busy and being lazy, and I toe it often. Nathan, I've got a list. You wouldn't believe this, right? But I have a list of notes, if you could call them that just go down and say just various things Star Wars. For example,
so what are we doing?
We're just talking about Star Wars, what we like about Star Wars. We're not discussing any specific piece of Star Wars. We're discussing Star Wars as a whole. We're just having a friendly celebration chit-chat about Star Wars.
And what is Star Wars?
Star Wars is a war that takes place in the stars.
So it's all in space all the time?
It's exclusively in space.
I think you're lying.
I would say.
I think you're lying.
Am I lying? Is there Earth space? Is there Earth Star Wars?
Well, no, but it's not exclusively in space all the time.
From our perspective, it's in space. Like I can't just fucking, take a quick bus ride down to Corellia or something and go, oh look, Star Wars going on. Like,
well, yeah, you would have to go through space to get there, but it doesn't mean it's still exclusively in space. We're getting bogged down in pedantic.
If it's not clear already, we have no idea what we're talking about this episode. This has been 5 minutes of pure bollocks up until this point.
I woke up to a message. I think it was yesterday morning. I woke up to a message from Lawrence saying, "Here's an idea for this podcast. You want to do it?" And I was half asleep when I went, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And I'm still not entirely... He's explained it, and I still don't know what the fuck we're talking about. So I'll let him take the reins.
All right, thank you. I'll take the reins. Nathan, we all know that you're an enormous Star Wars fan. Some would even say a Star Wars nerd.
It's true, I have a tattoo.
You do have a tattoo. Do you want to explain what that tattoo is? Because You've inked Star Wars onto your body, Nathan. You must be serious about it.
Yeah, it's okay. It's pretty simple. It's just the Rebel Alliance symbol with like a floral pattern around it. That's all it is. Are you there?
And there it is. I am, but we
okay.
dropped in quality.
Did you die?
No, I didn't die. I was busy out doing a Star Wars.
Okay.
Nathan.
What?
I keep going to start this podcast as if I know what I'm going to say or do. I tell you what, look, I've made some brief notes.
Talk me through your notes, whatever they are.
All right, let's go through my note. Right, firstly, let's get this out of the way. What's your favourite Star Wars film? I think this is a good jumping off point.
Favorite movie?
Yeah, favorite movie, and then we can go into TV shows, games, whatever else.
Favorite theatrically released movie?
No, favorite movie. Full stop.
I was going to make a joke that rules out the holiday special, but I can't do that now. Well,
Sorry.
there we go. No, that's fine.
Was the Clone Wars theatrically released?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Okay.
So my favorite movie is The Last Jedi. Cue the booze and the letters and the death threats.
Now, before you all unsubscribe and stop listening, all 18 of you avid listeners, Nathan, why do you like it? Because it's the divisive one. It's the one that most people are either hit or miss on.
It is divisive for some reason. For me, it's hit.
This is awful. What's going on here? I'm just going to call you. I don't think my Wi-Fi can handle this.
Okay. Just one moment, listeners. Lawrence is going to call me. Hurry up and call me, you prick. Wagwan home slice.
Hello. I'm going to have to obviously cut all of that. Right.
Yeah, it does seem to be very divisive for some reason. No, I just really like it. I can't exactly pinpoint one specific thing. It's a number of different things. First of all, I think Rian Johnson told a great story, both visually and in terms of the actual story itself. I think the characterization of Luke is just absolutely perfect. If you look at where he's been and his journey to get to where he ends up, it is a really good story. It's visually stunning. The moment the Holdo maneuver is just breathtaking. All the stuff with both Rey and Ben and that entire throne room sequence. I can't pinpoint one thing. It's just all of it is just great.
No, I'm of the same opinion. I like it as well. I don't think it is my favourite, but it's pretty high up there. But what do you think about the sequels as a whole? Like, because I think I don't know. I guess there's like Star Wars has got a lot more divisive in the last I don't know 5, 6 whatever years.
It's been around a lot more, so it's going to get a lot more divisive. The longer something is around, then the more opinions and different takes you're going to get. That's just natural.
Well, and the people that used to look at it through rose-tinted glass as well have now got new adaptations, and they either very strongly like them or very strongly and vocally dislike them.
Exactly. I think I like the sequels. There's definitely some misses, and definitely it clearly wasn't planned all at once. But neither were the prequels, neither was the original trilogy, so I don't think that should be a huge criticism against it necessarily.
Yeah.
No, I do like it overall.
Yeah, I think I'm of the same opinion. I think I basically when I watched so I like The Force Awakens. I know people think it's a copy of A New Hope, whatever. I like it. I mean, A New Hope worked, and so did Force Awakens, so both are fine for me. And then I love Last Jedi. I think the reason I fell out with the sequels, not massively, is like you say. I think that reason because of they weren't planned out too much. But I think the others, like the prequels and the originals, just did a better job of kind of pulling it off, whereas it was very obviously clear. But it was different times. The internet speculates about everything. Everything gets announced early or leaked. So it was plain to see from the get-go that they didn't have a plan.
It is different times, and also even if they did have a plan, that would have also massively changed because of unfortunately what happened with Carrie Fisher. Yeah, because she was supposed to be a big prominent part of the third movie. Unfortunately, we saw how that worked out. So regardless, it would have changed.
Yeah. What do you think about the more I don't know? Do you want to see? It seems they've moved away from doing films like Solo, Rogue One, etc. Did you like them? I love them. I wanted to see more kind of shit like that.
I did like them. Yeah, we talked about some of them. It's actually the first episode of this podcast we did.
Fuck, it was, wasn't it? Shit, that was a while ago.
It was the very first one. Spoiler alert: we both like it. It's a good movie. We saw that.
We don't need to have this conversation now. You can go back and listen to an extended version of it.
We saw that at like 10 in the morning on the day it came out when we was both back at uni still. That was a fun time. I like those movies. I do think it is a smart decision to do the Disney Plus series though. The movies aren't over. They are going to come back. Like Taika's doing one, and what's her name? Patty Jenkins is also doing the Rogue Squadron movie. So the movies are coming back. But I do think it is a smarter move to do these miniseries. Well, not necessarily miniseries, but series like The Mandalorian, and then the other stuff we're getting as well, because it's all proven to be quite good with the fans and everything like that.
Yeah, I think I don't know what it was. I mean, about Solo. Again, go listen to the first episode to hear more about this clearly. But I liked it, but I think because it didn't make the money a Star Wars movie should have made. They kind of shied away from it for a bit, and I think that's worked for the better. It's meant less Star Wars clogging up the kind of theatrical release slots, and more Star Wars at home that's easily enjoyable. I think Star Wars is, especially The Mandalorian, massively benefits from that. When it's on anyway, the weekly structure to have the conversations on Twitter, get excited weekly rather than build up hype for 2 years and then have something not be exactly what you want and then go, fuck it, I hate it, which is a shame because it's, it's just sad when people are that vocally
What's your
dismissive.
favourite movie?
What, as a whole? Oh, God. Shit, I don't know. I think the one I'm most nostalgic for is Return of the Jedi. But that's because it was like one of the first ones I remember seeing as a kid, and like because I was
Return
young.
of the Jedi is the first one I saw as well.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is for a lot of people, even 40-year-olds like yourself. But no, it is though because it's the one that's easy to introduce to kids because it's got the little bears in it, like it's got the Ewoks in it, so you can sit down and pay attention and go, haha, funny bears.
I really like Return of the Jedi. It sounds weird to say it's underrated, but I feel like
it is though.
It
is dismissed as it's people
the odd one out of the original trilogy.
No, it genuinely is, and I think it's.
But it's my favorite of the original trilogy. I think it's a great movie.
Yeah,
often
out of the original trilogy, it is definitely my favorite.
I can see why though, because there are some very odd, especially like with the special editions and the Jedi Rocks dance number and everything. It's some of it is a chore to get through. Just watching a big CGI man scream right into the fucking camera. It's very very odd and questionable. But for the most part, I really like it.
No, yeah, I think it's great, and I think it's like,
and I think that final fight with Vader and Luke is one of the best fights in the entire series.
I was just about to say, like, I think the sequels have some of the best fights because I think they find a decent blend between like desperation, choreography, as opposed to like because I mean for the most part, I think the best lightsaber sequence is is Finn versus Kylo. Because it's Finn just purely desperately picking up a lightsaber and just swinging it to fuck, which is what everyone would do if it's the first time they've held it. That's one of my favorites. But yeah, no, I think the sequels found like a perfect mixture between the originals, like kind of natural. Some could even say boring, especially if you consider the Obi-Wan and Vader fight, which I know is meant to be kind of boring. But then also like boring. And then the prequels like hyper choreographed, ridiculous, like a million flips a second. But yeah, no, I was just about to say that's one of the main reasons that Return of the Jedi stuck with me as I'm no longer a kid, because I think the throne room music when Vader and Luke are having their fight at the end, and he's doing the whole like I'll never join you kind of thing.
And you do get to see Luke actually tap into the dark side, and it does. For a moment, make him a little bit more powerful, and he does get a taste for it because he is proper wailing on Vader. He comes very close to killing him, but thankfully he realizes who he is. He realizes that's not who he is, so he doesn't go ahead with it. I actually really sorry, go on.
I was going to say, I think that's the moment that perfectly embodies the finding the balance of it, which I think carries so well into why I think, like you, that Luke's journey in The Last Jedi was perfect, because Luke's, as he's grown older, all he's seen is he defeated an empire, and then he's just seen another one rise from the ashes of a mistake he made. So he's obviously got old, disgruntled, and a bit more pessimistic. But he's still true to Luke's, well, you know, the Jedi are a bunch of idiots, and so are the Sith. Like, you've got to have a balance. You can't be so regimentally just one. It doesn't work like that. And I think they'd been setting that up since Return of the Jedi, or since A New Hope. So I have no idea like why people disagreed with where Luke ended up, etc. I just think it's unusual. But that's the reason I love Return of the Jedi.
One of the big criticisms I've seen is people use, like what we've been talking about there, Return of the Jedi. They use that as an example. Like Luke, they can't imagine a scenario where Luke would kill his own family, because he didn't kill Vader. So why would he go to kill Ben? But my retribution to that is he didn't go to kill Ben. He never intended to kill Ben. He went there because he sensed the disturbance. He sensed Snoke talking to him. And then he sensed that he was already too far gone. And in one fleeting moment, he ignited his lightsaber, but then he stopped. He realized that was wrong. He should not have done that at all. But by that point, it was already too late.
I've got a spoiler alert for the people that are cross about where Luke ended up in The Last Jedi. Just as he doesn't kill Kylo, he also doesn't kill Vader. And just as he was almost going to kill Vader, he was almost going to kill Kylo. But the trick is, he didn't on either account. So therefore, staying true to the Luke we saw in the originals.
I remember seeing a fan poster for The Last Jedi, and this was quite a while after it came out, like probably a couple of years after it came out. I think I probably saw it around last year sometime, and it was Luke on Crate, like after the battle, but he was holding Kylo's head in his hand, because clearly he decapitated Kylo, and I was like, well done. Clearly, you fundamentally understand the character of Luke Skywalker more
Luke
than
Skywalker,
anyone else.
Mass murderer extraordinaire.
Yeah. Clearly, he's going to decapitate his own nephew right in front of the entire galaxy, because that's the hero we all want.
It's not even that he just killed him; it's he's decapitated him, and he's now parading around the galaxy with Kylo's head in a bag. Like,
you know, as Luke does, he's always decapitating everyone.
In case just only one person comes over to Luke in the galaxy and goes, "Hey, Luke, I heard you're well known for your compassion." He goes, "No, I'm not. Look at this head. Look at this head I keep with me."
I think the caption was like, "The Luke we should have got" as well.
Oh,
I was
my
like,
God.
what?
You
Motherfucker, watch the movies. No.
Yeah, you fundamentally misunderstood that character.
Go on.
I was just going to say on that last. We won't talk about Last Jedi the whole podcast, but I just love how in that movie, what the fans wanted, Luke directly takes the piss out of. He's like, "You think I'm going to go and face down the whole First Order with a laser sword?" And I can imagine people in the cinema like expecting the next words out of Luke's mouth to be, "Well, let's go. I've got my laser sword. Let's do it." Oh god, yeah.
That is why I like the movie though, because it's not just some fanboy fantasy. It's real. It's a man who's jaded and he's been let down by this institution he invested pretty much his entire life into. Yeah. Of course, he's going to be let down and think he failed the entire galaxy. Why wouldn't he after what's happened?
Yeah.
So yeah, I do like it. On the topic of lightsaber battles, one I actually really do like is the one between Ben and Rey in The Rise of Skywalker.
Is that aboard the kind of floating piece of the Death Star?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. On Kashyyyk, well, one of the moons of Kashyyyk, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really, not Kashyyyk, Endor. What am I talking about? I do really like that fight because it's easy to dismiss it as a little bit of like kind of slow and not really all that much happens, but to me it's the characterization of the fight itself, because it's two people who are just both so fucking exhausted. They don't want to do this. They don't want to be there fighting each other, but they feel like they have no choice. They're being forced into it by organizations and people outside of their own control. So they're just going along with the emotions, and it really is something special, that fight. I really like it a lot. There is definitely moments that don't sit well with me, or there's moments like I've had to make a peace with, like in The Last Jedi, where Ben tells Rey she's no one, where she comes from nowhere. I love that moment because that's exactly what I wanted for her. I didn't want her to be tied to some legacy. I wanted her power to be her own, and she's her own hero and her own character, her own story, which is what she deserves. And that is it. I know, pretty shit, right? Cut short. Well, you can have Lawrence to thank for that, because by some miracle, he was the one who fucked up this week, and somehow, like, just about 20 minutes of his audio just disappeared during the edit. So he can stop going on at me about Hamilton now. So I guess this makes us even. Okay, so before I fuck off, whilst me and Lawrence were talking in the episode, he asked me about basically just some quick recommendations, because he knows that I like a lot of the expanded stuff from the Star Wars universe, so comics, books, and other things like that. So what follows is just a little bit of that, my half of the conversation, again, because Lawrence fucked it up, because he's an idiot, so please enjoy. So there's some really, really interesting books out there. The Aftermath trilogy is really good. It's basically what happens like immediately after Return of the Jedi. So yeah, that's really good. There's a book called Lost Stars, which is kind of like a young adult love story in the Star Wars universe, like between someone from the Rebel Alliance and someone from the Empire, which is really interesting. Yeah, that's really good read. Honestly, some of the books, like from the books of the movies, like The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi books, are all really interesting. So like one thing which I found really interesting in the Rogue One novelization, it's revealed that Cassian Andor was actually a separatist during the Clone Wars, which is very interesting. Yeah, it adds a lot of depth to his character and makes sense that why he's been doing it since he was 6 years old. The Last Jedi, the opening of The Last Jedi book is really interesting because in A New Hope, there's a deleted scene where you see Luke looking up at the ship, both the Tantive 4 and the Star Destroyer, like up in the sky, because you can see that fight happening from down on Tatooine. And then there's like other deleted scenes of him just going about his day-to-day life. He goes to Tosche Station, meets up with his friends. One of them's a woman who calls him Wormy. That's his little nickname, which never shows up in the movies, but it's there in that deleted scene. And then the opening of The Last Jedi book, it's actually, it's that. So you see Luke looking up at the spaceships, thinking exactly what's happening there. He goes to Tosche Station, he meets up with his friends, and then he doesn't go along with Obi-Wan. He lives his life out on Tatooine, and then he's suddenly an old man, married to that woman who still calls him Wormy, and he wonders if he should have done something different with his life, and the reign of the Empire is still going strong and everything like that. So it's really interesting, and that's a dream he's having, so it's really interesting to see that perspective. You could very easily do a Star Wars What If series. I know there's an animated show coming out called Star Wars Visions, and we're not exactly sure what that is yet. Could potentially be that. It probably won't be, but it could potentially be something like that. As well, on the extended universe stuff, there's some really great comics out there. Pretty much any Darth Vader comic is absolutely worth picking up. There's always incredible stories there. One of my favorite moments in all of Star Wars is actually from a Vader comic where Vader, you see him find out that he has a son, that Luke is still alive, that he's out there and he's been hidden from him for all this time. And it's just a really, really good moment. So yeah, I would definitely recommend just checking out all that stuff. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that half of a conversation. Who knows, maybe we might finish it one day, although we probably won't. Anyway, just a quick wrap up. Fucking follow us on Twitter. Rate us 5 stars on iTunes. Why wouldn't you after this? Lawrence normally does this bit, so I'm not sure what to say. I'll just say another happy pod. Say hi to your mum for me. May the 4th be with you. Or whatever I say. Who knows? I'm very tired. I might get a KFC.